Hello and welcome to my September wrap-up. I'm Sabrina and this is my channel, Fiction is my Soulmate, and I've hauled 5 books in September, and that are these books. The first one is Butcher and Blackbird as an ebook. It was my first book I hauled in September. And then I have an audiobook, which is House of Sky and Breath Part 2, the graphic audio version. So I can now listen to House of Sky and Breath. I already read the whole series, but I really love the graphic audios and I want to reread or re-listen to it in the future. So we have that, and then we have my physical books that I've got. The first one is a review copy from the publisher, so thank you to the Adrian Verlag for giving me Saving 6. I want to read this now in October, but yeah, I got it in September. It is the third book of the Boys of Tommen series and the first book about Joey and Eve, and I can't wait to read this book because I really loved the first 2 books in the series about Johnny and Shannon. So I'm really curious for the story of Shannon's brother and his girlfriend. So I will definitely read this soon, and I will also read soon The Graveyard Shift by Emil Rio. It is my first horror book and it is a short novella. I really loved If We Were Villains by Emil Rio, and this is also on my October TBR because it is a buddy read in the Halloween week with a few people, so we will see how I will like that. And the last book I got was a birthday present by my best friend. Thank you, Saskia, for giving me The Lost Story by Meg Sheffer. I really loved The Wishing Game, and it was a very cozy read that I enjoyed, and I can't wait to read The Lost Story. It is not on my October TBR, but I can't wait to read it, and hopefully I will read it in October after I finished my TBR, or this goes on my November TBR. We will see. But these are the books that I've got. Yeah. And then we have the books that I've read. And because of the first book, I first hauled my books because the first read was Butcher and Blackbird. And I enjoyed this one, surprisingly. I thought I would DNF it because it is too gross. And yes, it was gross at some times, but most of the time it really just entertained me, and I really loved the humor in the book, and it was very light in the storytelling. So yeah, I will read book 2 sometime in the future and will definitely continue this series. And then we come to the physical books that I've read. The first one is Lessons in Chemistry. I made a long video where I talk about this book because I really loved it. You can see the amount of tabs in that, and I gave it 5 stars. And I wish there were more books from Bonnie Camus, because I would definitely read them. But as it is, this is her only book so far, and yeah, I really loved it. I loved the feminism part, and that our female main character is a very strong character and very stubborn, and we can learn a lot from her. So first 5-star read. Then we have Breathe You by Celeste Grant. It is the second book in a duology. The first book is Live Me, and I waited years to read the second part, but I will not tell you more at this point because it is part of a future video, because I read it as part of the next final chapter video, which will hopefully come out next week. So I will tell you more about that then. And I will also tell you more about this book, Zodiac Academy, The Awakening as Told by the Boys. So the first book of the series from different perspectives. And that is all I will tell you here. I will tell you more in the next video. And I've read Kingmakers by Sophie Lark, the first book in the series. It is year 1. It is a dark romance set on a mafia college, a college where all the mafia kids go to learn what they have to do in the mafia. And it is the one book that I didn't enjoy this month because it had no mafia vibes for me, and the romance was just toxic to me. So I didn't enjoy this, and I will not continue the series, and I will unhaul this book. I will tell you that now because it is the only book that I will unhaul. And with that, we come to the next book, and that was The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, the second book in the Mistborn series, and I really enjoyed this series. The second book was a little bit weaker because of the pacing of the story, because it was really slow. And I think we don't get much progress in the main story, and it was more of side quests here, but even the side quests was very slow paced. So I can't wait to read more, and I already started The Hero of Ages, and I will continue now in October. So I will tell you more about the Mistborn series in the future. And a series that I also continued was the Black Dagger Brotherhood. This is book 3 in German, so part 1 and part 2. And it was the story of Zedes and Bella that I've read with a friend. And I didn't enjoy it as much as in the first read a few years ago, but I loved the first half of the story, and I can't wait to read more about the Black Dagger Brotherhood, which I will do in October. I already told you what is on my October TBR, so this is not a surprise that I will continue that series. And I will also continue in October another series, which is the Guild Hunter series by Nalini Singh, because I've read book 5 and 6 in September and I enjoyed them. I'm not 100% vibing with the books at this time, so I don't know if I will continue the series after book 7, because book 7, the book that I will read in October, is the last book that I own and that is on my TBR, so I will make a decision after that. but there are times in the book that I'm really loving the story and times that are a little bit dragging. So we will see how that journey goes on. This is the right order, book 5 and 6. And I continued another series, a lot of series here. I'm working on my series TBR, and this is book 3 of the SEAL Team 12 series by Marlis Melton, a romantic suspense series about SEALs, obviously. And it was okay. I have one more book on my physical TBR, which is book 5. So I need to decide if I want to skip book 4 in the series to read book 5 next, or if I want to read book 4 and then book 5. It is a future decision that I need to make to finish this series. But I will definitely continue because I enjoyed it and it entertained me, even if there were some points that were a bit negative for me, as in pet killing, for example. So we will see about that. And the last series that I read in September and that I finished in September was the Game On series by Kristen Callahan. This is book 3 that I didn't enjoy. This is book 4 that I enjoyed, and book 4 is my second favorite of the series. It is a contemporary romance with sports romance, so football setting. The male main characters are all football players. I love the writing style of Kristen Callahan. It is very entertaining and very light to read, and yeah, I'm flying through these books, so I'm a little bit sad that this series came now to an end, because I really wished there were more stories about the football players here. There are some people that would deserve an own story, but as it is, they don't have one and the series is finished. So I've read "13 books in September. I finished the last one of September, this one, on October 1st, but we still count it for September. And hauled 5 books, so yeah, I really worked on my TBR, which is quite good. I will hopefully continue that in October. I don't have much pre-orders for October. I think 1 or 2. And I will continue to reduce my TBR. Fingers crossed. And if you want, you can tell me what you've read in September, which book you enjoyed the most. Please tell me about it in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to my channel if you want, and I will see you next time. Bye!